didn't come on yet. I'm over here doing a weird face.
Yeah, Vax. Yeah. Oh, man.
Keep clapping. As it fades out.
Ben.exe has stopped working unexpectedly.
I don't know what else to do.
It's like the edit.
They asked for
context.
awkward, so I figured if I just sat silently and stared at the camera, that would be awkward enough. All right, I'm going to give up my pack. Do you two want to talk to
Yeah.
I want to
stuff
talk
and
about
things?
small stuff because it was
All
so
right.
much fun. I mean, not that I got to. Maybe
All
I
right,
shouldn't
I'm
talk
going
about
to
small
turn this off momentarily so that I can give this up. Vax, you're missing a pack, right? Yep. There you go. Turn that back on. I'll give you this seat. Stuff and things.
Also, in non-space related things, even though you talked about it a little bit, I want to know how Penzik was for Vax.
Oh, okay.
Wait, words again, Space Mike?
I want to ask Vax how Penzik was, and if he stayed the whole time or not.
Oh,
That's my
Vax,
camping trip for you with that.
Mike would like to ask how was.
I got it.
How was.
I can hear it.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
Yes, Loopy, I was at Smallsat. I was working, but I was there, so I got to like see a lot of stuff. I mean, mostly I was in the one spot because I was working, but yeah. Also, the thing on my laptop is also related to the place where I work. So it's it's sort of a molecule. It's like a.
Would you say it's part
It's
of
like-
a laboratory?
It's a laboratory molecule with Australia and the southern hemisphere projected on the Earth here.
I want to start a
So
trend
cool.
of calling Rocket Lab the laboratory.
The laboratory.
The laboratory. That's what I want to start referring to Rocket Lab as, the laboratory. I think that would
The
be
Rocket Laboratory.
Okay.
Rocket
So when you're not looking,
laboratory.
he's gonna write on there the laboratory
Oh,
right
I just
across,
need to get
right
it in,
across
like,
Australia.
But I need to be on brand, so I need to use the correct typeface and and like have it here. Anyway,
I thought that was just scratches. I guess
wait,
they're not.
what?
On the sticker.
This?
they were just-
That's
yeah.
Australia.
I thought it was a scratch. I figured it might have been, but anyway.
Oh my goodness.
All right,
So
everyone,
what
I
was
need to,
Space
I need
Mike's?
to do some stuff, so you guys enjoy After Dark, and I'll be back in a bit to help with science. But just have a conversation and whatever.
Cool. Sounds good.
Oh no, Ben's let us
Okay,
loose.
Space Mike.
Don't leave me in. So we was, yeah, we were in Logan. It was so hard to get accommodation. Oh my goodness! Like I booked like hotel rooms, and then more people from my team wanted to come at the last minute. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna look everywhere. But I ended up finding more accommodation like on the university campus. It was like one of the student
Right, the
accommodations.
student, the millennial
Towers, yeah.
Yeah, they just added that, I think,
Yeah.
just this year.
Oh,
They usually max out Logan. Like the last time I went, I had to stay 50 miles away.
In Ogden?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you had to drive. You had to drive an hour to get to the
Yeah, I
conference.
have to
Oh
book
my
out
goodness. And the
accommodation.
conference starts at like 7 a.m. probably,
On Monday.
right?
My job on
Yeah.
Monday is to book the accommodation for next year because it's already going to be sold out. But I heard that there's this house up in the hills in Logan that's like this crazy amazing house. And the Hawkeye guys did a party there this year. I didn't go to it.
I didn't get there either.
But a different company will be there not my company. Virgin is going to be there next year. And I heard they're going to throw a party in that house as well.
Indeed. Those are the social networking.
Conference parties are always the best.
It's the best part of Smallsat.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool. Okay, I'll have to go next year.
Yeah, it's
Please
worth
do.
it.
Yeah. It sounds
Unfortunately,
really
it conflicts with my annual 2-week,
Family.
summer family vacation, camping vacation,
Which is
and
also freakishly cool.
right, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, Mike wanted to know a bit about that. And like
Yeah,
how
so
it was.
yeah, I did go the whole time. I was there about 16 days, 2 weeks, and plus Friday to Sunday, and we set up our. Well, there's 10,500 people there. Okay, so it's and on an 800-acre campground, so it's really just mind-bogglingly enormous. There were 2,500 different classes that were taught, and there were 300 merchants. So a lot of shopping, a lot of education. It's really
They have
a
dueling
huge
and
place.
war stuff, too?
One of the things that I do, which is really fun, is I shoot cannons. So we actually shoot real black powder cannons as signals for the battles. That they're doing armed battles out on the battlefield. They put like 1,000 people out on the battlefield in real armor and padded weapons. Okay, so they're not using steel weapons. People do get hurt, but it's usually like sprained ankles and stuff. Heat exhaustion.
Heat exhaustion.
But we're up on the hill above them shooting cannons, at them with no
Projectiles.
no projectiles, obviously. You're just shooting, you're just touching off black powder. But they're loud. And the interesting thing for me about that is that we're doing authentic 14th, 15th century military drill.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're one of the most authentic groups that's out there. And we're using real weapons and real black powder, and it's really actually dangerous. So we have training and drill, and we make sure that all the team members and the gun captains and the gun line captain are all, very synchronized. There's a very specific way that you have to make sure that cannons are clear, make sure the way that they're loaded, how you handle the powder, all that kind of stuff. You don't want, you carry the cannon powder very specific ways.
Like that?
You carry it that way
Wow.
from the powder magazine up to the cannon. You have to make sure, one of the things that you want to make sure that you do with black powder is that you come home and be able to do the 10-fingered salute. You don't want to lose anything.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, the way that you handle all the implements and things like that is very much training. So you're ramming powder in, or you're clearing the cannons, or you're whatever you're doing, your thumb is always out of the way. It's always just like this,
You don't
man.
you
Blast
don't.
them.
Yeah.
Should anything go wrong, you want that
that
ramrod or whatever to go out of your hand.
Right.
The thing that's really intriguing to me is that a lot of that military drill and the way that we communicate things back and forth,
Yeah, we're still on. This is like
we
just an informal
actually
chat.
are very similar to the way that we actually run satellites and rocket launch operations today.
The chat room is loving this
It's
too.
very,
detailed.
it's very, very analogous, right? So we have hierarchy of command, and we have go no go, and we have call outs as to when things are going to occur and how all the safety procedures operate, and it's really a fascinating thing to me that effectively 500 years later. The way that we operate satellites and rockets has been influenced by that military drill from that long ago.
How long have you been doing this?
Quite a number of years. I've been doing that event. I've been doing that event for 27 years, 28 years.
Okay.
I've missed 1 or 2 years in the middle when I had to work or whatever.
Wow. Your role is to fire the cannons themselves,
I work
or
on
call off
on
the fire?
a guild. There's
The guild. Okay, yeah.
There's the Cannons Guild, the Guild of St. Barbara. St. Barbara is the patron
Right.
saint of cannoneers and engineers, and so I work with the guild. I'm not like a gun captain. I'm not in charge. I'm a hanger. I hang out with them and work with them. I actually did get to captain a gun this year. It was actually the first time I was like a captain. I was in charge of making sure that things were done properly, and report back up to the line captains and things like that. So it was
is
fun.
so
It was
cool.
very
How long
fun.
does this
I'll
last for? 2 weeks?
And it's 2 weeks. So if you look, my YouTube channel is called Untied Music Studio,
okay.
and if you go search for Pensick, PENNSIC, Pensick Cannons. You'll find some of my videos, and I've got more to post. I've just been too busy. It was, I got home, worked home 4 days, flew into Los Angeles yesterday from Maryland, and now I'm going to
You're
be here until
working
September the 1st.
12-hour shifts now.
Yeah, right. Well, they're not working quite that long, but
Yeah.
I worked 12 hours yesterday because I had to fly out here, but. So I only had a couple days at home. So I didn't get the videos didn't get edited yet.
I
But
always picture one of the opening scenes of one of the Harry Potter movies where they have the acres and acres of tents, and all the families have their own tent. And it always strikes me that's
oh
kinda
yeah,
what
that's
you're-
very
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it's-
keep wishing we had tents that were bigger on the inside, but they
Yeah,
aren't. So.
multi-dimensional.
Yeah,
tents.
multi-dimensional tents. No, we don't have those. We do have a big tent. I mean, we have big tents. My family group is 21 people this year, and we set up 11 tents, the biggest of which is 18 by 25 feet.
Wow.
And it has
And they're kind
And
of
how many
20
people?
my group was 20 people.
20 people. Wow.
21 people, including
never gone
including a
camping.
4-year-old and
I
a
can't
2-year-old.
Well,
we had like
Camping?
never been
I've
camping.
never been camping. Yeah,
Oh,
never.
what?
Log cabins, Airbnb.
Camping trip
Yeah,
tomorrow.
glamping.
It's happening.
Oh gosh. Come on.
So up at the
excited.
SmallSat conference,
Yeah.
between the regular conference and the Space Dynamics Lab had a closed session. There was enough time for me to let me just say, at Salt Lake City, they ran out of rental cars. The company was going to buy this nice or rent me a four-door sedan, and they were all out of those, so I had a convertible GT Mustang. And
I was driving
my
the
sister,
Suburban.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I met a number of folks who ended up with like more truck than they asked for. But with that Mustang and a beautiful day up there between Logan and where my sister lives up in Bozeman, Utah, Montana State, just absolutely gorgeous drive up the Madison River, Lewis and Clark type territory. Up in Bozeman, I just slept under the stars that night.
Wow.
Having been at Small Sat Conference, seeing all these great things, and then just laying out under the stars and watching, gee, is that, which satellite is that? Because that's like all you see up there are stars, satellites, and the Pleiades. Meteor shower was going on.
Yeah.
But this week, you just look at sun, near twilight. It was just Venus, Jupiter, the Moon, Saturn, Mars.
And Mars, yeah.
Every one of those
Everything
was
is
just
out right now.
gorgeous. And so
Yeah.
if you were to go camping, I would say get up to like Yellowstone or someplace that just is dark.
Yeah.
Go someplace dark.
I get a GT Mustang,
Oh yeah, that helped. That absolutely helped. And coming back down through, I'll just say Yellowstone, came back down the Gallatin River, getting back to the conference on Thursday was going through bison and
Wow.
and just there have been fires up there, but the natural beauty, just the strange geology of the Yellowstone caldera is stunning when you're able, in a convertible you see a different. It's almost like on a motorcycle. You have a different experience.
Yeah.
And seeing little fishes in the Snake River and just lots of neat.
They have. I don't know whether
Yeah.
they still.
So
do
you
they
gotta go camping.
Do they
Don't
still
do
do like
that.
the social things that you can sign up for?
Oh yeah, like
at Small
hikes.
Sat?
Yeah, there's mountain hikes. There's things for spouses and family to do
Yeah.
while the nerds
Well, I did
are
one
in.
of the years I was there. I did horseback riding.
Oh, fun.
Which was all the way up on the north border
Sure,
of Utah,
Utah, yeah.
and way up in the Rockies,
Yep.
and that was just absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
They gave me
Yeah.
they gave me a great horse. And I hadn't actually been on a horse in a while, but I won't describe myself as a expert horseman, but I can sit a horse competently enough to not spook the horse.
Nice. That's important.
And so they ask, well, you got this one horse he may be a little reluctant to do stuff, who's competent enough that they feel like, they can make the horse do what he's supposed to do. I'm like, I can do that. And it was fun. He was fine. It was great. So it was.
This was the Rocky Mountains
Yeah.
in Colorado?
Yeah, yeah.
I
no,
love
this
the
is
Rocky
yeah,
Mountains.
this
Northern
was Utah,
By
Idaho.
Utah, okay.
Yeah, we're up on
really
the
close.
border. Yeah, it was really up there.
Wow.
It was just stunning.
Yeah.
And right at sunset, you're like at 6 o'clock, and you get back at like just almost dark.
Yeah.
It was very, very nice.
Great conference.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what
Is
was
it-
some of
is
your
I
favorite
did want to
takeaways?
say real quick,
Oh.
Vax, that I actually went to my first SCA event a while back for Highlands War, and I have to tell you that if you happen to be attending Estrella, you have a spot with us.
That'd be very cool. It's interesting. I've been a member of this is the Society for Creative Anachronism. This is the largest medieval reenactment society. I've been a member for a long time, although I don't generally hang out with my local barony because that's the night I go bowling. So they do archery practice too.
I love archery.
And the archery practice is on Sunday mornings, and I go to church. So, I don't do archery
I
practice.
love that you have
when
such a
I'm-
system of events, and they're all so cool. Like, let's go bowling.
Oh, yes, bowling is not normal bowling, right?
Oh,
Well, it's
what?
not-
Is it cosmic bowling?
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
What is
So
this?
in Maryland, there's a different. There's a couple different kinds of bowling. It's not just what you would think of what we would call 10-pin bowling, right? Where you have a ball that's about that big and you have pins that are this tall, that are kind of curvy, right? And they're about that big.
Yeah.
No, there's a bunch of different kinds of bowling, especially up in the east and northeast. So what's in Maryland is called duck pins. The ball's about that big and the pins are that tall. and
That's difficult.
super hard.
Yeah.
There's never been a perfect game of duck pins bolt. There's never been a 300 game. It's called duck pins.
Is it because it started with like ducks? People were throwing balls at ducks.
Or was
No,
it
That's like abuse, but you know, duck maybe. That's what it sounds like because it's about this size.
Well, yeah, they're about the same size. Well, the heritage of that name reportedly comes from the fact that when you hit them and you do actually get a strike, that the pins tend to fly around a lot more. You get a lot more pin action than you get at 10 pins because the pins are so small and the balls are going really fast.
Yeah. Greater impact.
And so they just they look like a flock of ducks flying around. That's what
So it is like if you throw
and
something at a
the other
flock
thing
of
that you
ducks,
see
they
is if a lot of times if the pins, this is about as far off topic as we get. The pins actually will go and they'll kind of like go like this across the lane. If they go from one side to the other, they'll and it looks almost like a duck running.
like a duck. That's
So
so,
they're like little ducks.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and then further up in the Northeast, you get another bowling game called Candles, or Candle Pins, and I don't even understand candles. The scoring for Candles is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. It doesn't score at all like duck pins or 10 pins. I don't even know how. It's like this square grid, and I'm just like, I have no idea what they're doing.
Wow.
That's interesting.
It's called candles.
Candles,
Okay.
and
I'm actually
those are
curious.
straight.
I'm gonna look
Those
that
are
up later.
straight tall pins, but there are cylinders, and you don't clear the pins. You don't clear the dead wood. So when you knock the pins down, you leave the pins down,
leave it there.
and then you can hit the dead pins
To knock
and
the other
knock
ones
the other ones
over.
over.
Ah, so maybe that's why there might be a grid system because it might say you get half a point if
I
it gets
have-
hit by another
I have
one.
no idea. Somebody's go look up candle pins.
Yeah,
and there's
I'm
plenty of it on
definitely
YouTube,
gonna
and
do that.
I watched Candles on YouTube, and I still don't understand how it's scored. But anyhow, duck pins is a very hard
Put it
game.
in
It's a
the
lot of fun. So anyhow, I bowl duck pins on Friday nights, and that's why I don't hang out with the SCA.
Wow.
But
I love that
That
giant
all
circle.
full circle, yeah.
It's awesome.
Let's see. To kind of bring things back to space, I do have a small sat question.
trouble hearing.
Okay.
Mike, is he?
Do you
Do you
have
guys
a-
know
I
of
don't have
any
Oh, let me get
companies
one.
out there that have autonomous thruster control for CubeSats?
Craig, do you know of anybody out in the industry that has autonomous thruster control for CubeSats?
So Aerojet Rocketdyne has a really good system that closes the loop with the attitude control system. So I wouldn't really call it so much, I'll just say it's not like machine learning autonomous, but it's it will follow commands very well, and the system's able.
I know that there is a couple different thruster systems
Yeah,
that
Busek
people
has a
are
nice
developing. Busek, B-U-S-E-K,
has a nice
has some things. There's some solid state stuff that's out there that I'd seen at SmallSat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, a lot
there's
of
people that are working on water and hydrazine
Yeah,
and
Rob
other
Boyd up
other kind of liquid metals.
Yep.
So there's a lot of
Yeah,
interesting stuff that people are trying to do with that. It's not super standardized yet, so it's not like you would buy, if you want to buy a thruster for a 1,000 kilogram satellite, that's a stock item. But the CubeSat level thruster stuff is still pretty experimental.
Check out Rob Hoyt's Tethers Unlimited
Yep.
Incorporated has the Hydros water-based thruster in a 1U package that is going to be flying in either November or December. Should be able to qualify their 1U version, and then they have a larger one, Hydros M, that would be for a 6U scientific CubeSat.
And
so
is
those
that basically an electrically actuated? Are they just is it a jet, or are they actually heating it up to steam?
I
Is it
am
basically
going
a steam
to
thruster?
defer to the folks at Tethers to explain.
Oh, okay.
They have an absolutely delightful PhD who understands more of how they're exciting the water to get it up to hyper. I won't call it plasma because that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But it's hyper energy is what they get it up to a state where.
Now I know
what
Tethers
water-
has been on the show, but it's been quite a while. I think that might be
Absolutely.
somebody take a note. Go call Tethers Unlimited and have them come
Yep.
talk about your CubeSat thrusters, because that's a really interesting topic when you're trying to build a thruster that's only that big.
Yep.
That's and the other good thing about water is it's very, very benign, right? even if it were to get on the lens of an instrument or something, it would just ablate away. So
I think Momentous Space, or just Momentous, are another group that are working on water-based CubeSat thrusters as well. Well, they're doing it for microsats, but also for
Wow.
CubeSats as well.
What would be a microsat? Is that considered part of the small sat category? So a small sat is.
a CubeSat is a
Microsats.
very particular thing. That's actually a standard. Okay, that's the 10 centimeter, cubic standard is a CubeSat. Picosat, I think, is also an upcoming standard, and then there's also microsat, which is an upcoming standard. I think microsat is the 5 centimeter cube, and then picosat is something that's even smaller than
So
two. Maybe they just divide it in half again. It's like 2.5 centimeters. Or something.
Wow.
So yeah, they're talking
But
about
isn't
really.
nanosats bigger than CubeSats?
No,
I guess
cube is kind of
Nanosats are
the
bigger?
micro. Wouldn't it be CubeSat, micro,
would be
nano, and then pico?
milli, micro, nano, pico.
Milli, micro, nano, pico.
Atto, yeah,
Atto. Actually, there's a question here from the chat from Spogie. They ask, how strong is the signal from these CubeSats, and do they bounce off a repeater in orbit, or do they reach Earth? Not sure if you guys would know about that. I mean, speaking of sizes, I'm like, maybe we'll know how strong they are. If you guys know the answer to those.
They're certainly doing both. They definitely have antennas that they're actually using CubeSats. I know that there are people that are using CubeSats for comm relay satellites. So they actually have a deployed spiral antenna, that ends up, it launches in a half U size, and it deploys out, and then, so you've got a pretty directional antenna, and you can talk to the ground at normal S-band speeds, tens of thousands of bits per second kinds of numbers. You want to get any higher than that?
So because it's spiral.
It's spirally polarized, helically polarized.
Wow. Well, does that make a difference versus other antennas, or some of them not?
Yeah,
like
if
that?
they're more directional, then you get better energy directed down to the Earth than you do with an omnidirectional antenna.
Right.
The default
yeah,
is an omni antenna that just radiates in all directions, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the omni antennas that we've seen with the CubeSats, one of the best ways that they've figured out to build an omni antenna is to use Stanley yellow measuring tape.
Yep.
Really?
The tape that's kind of curved, right? So they'll attach it at one corner, and then they'll wrap it around the other side. So each one will wrap around two sides. So you have a 20 centimeter on each side, right? And then they'll drill a little hole in them, right? And they'll put that across. They'll tie those two holes together with fishing line, and use a little piece of nichrome wire. The nichrome wire actually, when you put electricity across it, it gets hot.
Yes.
And it melts the fishing line, and the antennas go snap.
Wow.
Right? They've actually qualified the Stanley measuring tape paint to make sure that it doesn't outgas in space and contaminate instruments. So, right, they're just buying measuring tape.
Funniest things at Northrop Grumman was our people were trying to make us take the paint off, and it would then corrode, and bad things would happen, and so we just changed our government spacecraft had the solar arrays deployed with. Ours
Snap
at the time
hinges
were
made out of this
ours were
yellow
Sears
tape.
Craftsman were the ones that we launched to,
And the nice thing about those tapes too is you always know how long they are.
Yeah.
Yes. Good
Well,
way to point that out.
they're very precise, right? They have very good spring tension. They have very good, they're manufactured in enormous bulk, so they're cheap.
Yeah.
Right. And the deployment mechanism actually works every time. And it's just
Wow.
Never failed.
I'm gonna make that myself now. I go to it's like at the dollar store, Home Depot.
Yeah,
Maybe not the dollar store, but cheap version. Yeah. Wow.
So Ben was doing his mime.
He was just telling us we have 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought he was
cool.
stuck in a
It's
box.
like 8 minutes before we're going to lose Space Mike, because we'll need to start prepping for science.
I actually want to
Right.
point something out. So
Yes.
Wicked pointed out what we were talking about as far as the scales. So he goes group name 1. So it's a mass kilogram. So large satellite greater than 1,000, medium satellite 500 to 1,000, mini satellite 100 to 500, micro satellite 10 to 100, nano satellite 1 to 10, and pico satellite 0.1 to 1, and then femto satellite is less than 0.1, and this is in kilograms. Thank you for that, Timican.
I was thinking microsatellite. That's what's bigger than CubeSats.
Micro.
Right.
Okay.
Those numbers those names are
Right.
kind of nebulous, I think.
I don't
So
think there's
fun.
actually a set.
Yeah,
Standard.
our
CubeSat.
size satellite, electronics that we build, we basically call them the small sat satellite, small sat avionics.
Yeah.
But they really can be built into anything, but the smallest thing you could reasonably build them into is a CubeSat, right? But they could be, they have the same kind of capability and capacity as the larger electronics. So we're actually talking about, take that processor and put it in something that can switch a really big power satellite, but it's the same processor card.
That is so cool.
So this is
awesome.
reinventing the wheel. We've already got it running, right? So
Yeah.
we just put it in there,
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Cool. Well, I guess, I don't know, do you have any other questions, Lisa or Mike?
We didn't do the standard
5?
questions.
Standard questions. I'm still going to be watching a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and hang up now so that you guys can get ready for science and everything like that.
All
Yeah,
right,
please
no
ask
worries.
the 5
Awesome.
questions. I want to hear from
Thank
Have
you so
fun
much.
floating in
You're gonna have
space.
See you, man.
times, but we haven't asked Craig before. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I've answered this
We'll
a
see you
couple of
guys later.
times. All right, take care.
Bye.
So the first one is, this is from memory, so I could get these wrong. Chat room will correct me. What is your favorite space mission of all time? And that can be in the past, the present, or a mission in the future that hasn't even happened yet.
Okay. So I, of course, have to say LCROSS, the Lunar Crater Observation and Sensing Satellite, just because it was near and dear to my heart, going to the moon. And your first time going to the moon is special.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to go back, but it just won't have the punch that LCROSS did. And we're coming up on the 10th anniversary. We have a lot of party ideas and swag that are coming up here for both the anniversary of the launch, which would have been June 18th, as I think back through there.
Sounds right.
And then the impact October 9th. It was really unusual in space missions to know exactly when the mission would end. Many of these, they end way too soon, or else, hey, it's still working. Let's keep, like Kepler looking for planets after its reaction wheels failed. It was still able to do some science, and so that just lingered on. And the team that was working it, I can't speak for them, but my perception was that they, when is this going to end? Whereas LCROSS, we knew to within, weeks ahead, we knew to within a minute as to when we were going to impact.
Yep.
And so we had at Space Park up here in Redondo Beach, the day before, we had a big party with Sally Ride, and all of the LA news stations were there talking to us, and then the morning of the impact, every Southern California news van was lined up outside our Space Park facility, and we were able to do a sparkling cider toast. And the toast was actually, you talk about fun missions, we had so many people involved, NASA, JPL, Northrop Grumman, and our suppliers, that we had a number of dignitaries up to give the toast. And we made it so that each person who gave a toast had to do one less word in their toast than the person before them.
That's awesome.
So we started out.
How many people were there?
Oh, we had 10 people, and each one had to give, like the 10-word toast, the 9-word toast, 8 words, and it.
That's
it was
so clever.
absolutely a blast to be involved in that and know exactly when the mission would end. So,
Yeah.
So LCROSS, absolutely the most fun mission for me in the past. I have to say the most fun in the future really is gonna be getting people to Mars. I would love to have a Sea Dragon right now, but boy, the BFR, the Big Falcon rocket, is a close second.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah, I'm excited.
closest. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not really close, but
Not that close, but
Yeah.
But good enough.
Maybe
to,
Sea Dragon first. I think that's more.
But just being able to be a multi-planet species in my lifetime is something that I always would look forward to.
That's cool.
And it'll be absolutely a question of which country gets there first, or which corporation. But as long as it's somebody with, I'll just say, human DNA and not a cockroach or some other species gets there before us.
Yeah. Well, that segues really well into the next question.
Sure, go for
So,
it.
robotic or human
So,
exploration of the cosmos?
I did come out to Southern California from the University of Illinois with the specific intent to be a mission specialist, much like Greg Jarvis. So sadly, when Greg Jarvis was killed in the Challenger, TRW, which is now Northrop Grumman, canceled their mission specialist program. We had a number of spacecraft. Actually, when the Challenger blew up, it had one of our Northrop Grumman TRW tracking and data relay satellites was in the cargo bay, and they brought back one of the electronics boxes from the debris field and had it on display in my building for years. That it had, and at that point it was, I'm too fragile for space. And so from that point on, I was all robotic. Now I do expect the robots to do a good job of making, when I do go to my resort retirement villa at the South Pole of the Moon, I expect to not be wearing a diaper. I expect to land there and my robot minions will have a martini for me that's made
A
out
Soma
of...
bar martini.
Yeah,
My robot minions will have a martini. I am
yeah,
quoting that later.
It will be made from lunar ice.
Wow.
So I will have lunar
Yes.
ice cubes. But as we found out on El-Cross, there's water on the moon. You just don't want to drink it because in those cold traps, the highest concentration of mercury anywhere in the solar system is in the Cabeus crater.
Did not
How
know
about some
that.
salty water from Mars?
Oh, there we go. We can do salty water.
Yeah, we can
or
distill
It'll be like
it.
a.
There'd be
I
a
want
mercury
ice
teeny.
from.
Yeah.
I want it from mercury. I want
Ice
ice
from
cubes
mercury.
from. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So just kind of a segue there. When you see our 10th anniversary El-Cross T-shirts, it's all a ski theme. Cabeus crater, the best powder on the moon, or the deepest powder, because it's like 5 kilometers below the surface. The deepest powder. And it's, absolutely, ski. Our theme is about skiing the moon. And
Wow.
So we have a trail map on the back of the shirt that's the ski map of the lunar South Pole.
Well, that's convenient. Already
Yeah,
got the ski
absolutely.
resort set up for
That's right.
everybody and where they can
Yeah,
go.
so like I say, I just need the robot minions there to do the
Awesome.
heavy work so that I can just enjoy. Next question. I know we're running out.
What was the next one? I think you know
Well,
it.
speaking of Mercury, where do you think we should explore next? Where should we go next?
Other than multi-dimensions. I, of course, want to go different dimensions, but we do need to learn more about Mars. We need to learn more about Venus. Some of my favorite science fiction by Kim Stanley Robinson talking about terraforming. Ever since I've been in California, some of my friends and I would talk about how much energy it takes to terraform exoplanet. And things you could do. And one of Kim Stanley Robinson's books, after the Red Mars, Blue Mars, Green Mars series of turning Mars from a red planet to a blue planet, a watery planet, to then a green forested planet. In his later book, 2312, great book, you'll understand the significance of the date as you start to solve the mystery of how the first city on Mercury ends up being destroyed.
Wow.
As you read through that.
have to read that.
No spoilers, no
happens- yeah.
spoilers.
No, that happens in the first chapter.
Oh.
But as you get through, because of improvements to gene therapy, you're able to extend the human life more to like 400, 500 years.
Wow.
And if you have that much time, and if you have asteroids that you've hollowed out into just kind of like city buses that go between, you have one bus goes between Venus and Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a string of these asteroids that'll just circle, and they've hollowed out the inside, and you've got a biosphere inside. As you start reading about that and thinking about that, you start saying that, wow, there are so many cool places to explore if only I could live on cosmic scales. So the key is to get people to live longer.
Wow.
Are we now in the...
Well, that's great.
We have one more question
Awesome.
for the final four,
Go for it.
which is why space?
Oh, why space? Because we are explorers. We absolutely are curious, and there's many things to learn yet here on Earth, but there's so much more out there. Just wait till you see what James Webb is able to tell you about the universe. Another Northrop Grumman satellite, shameless plug here, the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, TESS, is in a wonderful orbit that was based on our El-Cross. Our El-Cross orbit was, how do you hit the moon? The folks at Aerospace Corp figured out, how do you avoid the moon? And they came up with a dynamic Lagrange orbit. it is gravitationally stable between the Earth and the Moon. It's almost like a two-stroke engine. The Moon goes around in 28 days, TESS goes around in 14, and it's just gravitationally locked so that you don't have to burn much fuel to stay in that orbit. It's brilliant.
That's awesome.
This has been
Sweet.
fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic way to end this After Dark. I don't know if we're going to stay on while we prep for science, maybe, question mark? But we'll let these guys go and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you
and
so
it's been a
much.
pleasure. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah,
So great to
you guys
meet
are
Nice to meet you in
amazing.
person, both of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So are you
Thank you
guys.
so much. Thank
Pulling
you.
off something like this is amazing.
Yeah, this was such a great
It's fun to
talk.
share.
This was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I like this inception happening right now. That's always my favorite part.
Bye, Internet.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
See you next week.
I don't think
We're not
it's
actually
gonna
going to fade to
show.
black because
fade
we're just
to
going to
black.
convert to science. So.
Cool.
Well, I'm wearing a black.
That could have just.
That was a show.
That was a show.
Actually, I really enjoyed that.
It was very concise.
That was cool. Well, I mean, we
Yeah.
dropped a whole segment, right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Cool. Well, what's up, world? How you doing out there? You
Hey,
still
hey,
awake?
chat room. How you doing? How you doing?
Ooh, this is After Dark. How you doing?
Yeah, chat room. Go for it.
What do you
Feedback.
think?
What were the vibes on that? What do you think?
Don't hold back. Tell us the truth. Ooh, Dr. Lori.
Taz says bye. Tell Jade sorry for me. Will he
Why?
have that fixed?
We'll have
I
that
don't know that
fixed.
one.
What happened?
I don't know. Apparently, Taz is like, hey, bye. Okay, bye. Something, something.
Tell Jade sorry. We'll have that fixed. Did something break?
I don't know. That's weird. Thank you, Raj. I really enjoyed how
did he
those
know?
those two guests were like. Their technology was super interesting, and like I like that Z would always answer the questions about like the engineering and math and like the folding and geometry, and then like Brennan would answer about like the biology and like the science behind it. It was really cool. Yeah, maybe my excitement didn't come through. I feel like I was holding back my excitement a little bit. Like I didn't feel like I expressed my excitement on how cool their stuff was. And all their imagery was just so cool, like their
I
videos.
know.
How cool were their videos?
The cute little
Are they still
babies getting
here? I think they
encapsulated.
left.
Yeah, probably. But they're here in spirit.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was neat. And you know what? I like that we kept it pretty concise, but dang, I had so many questions that I wanted to ask. I'm like, but just kind of for my own personal, like,
Yeah.
well, what about this? What about this? But they were great guests. I like how their personalities actually complemented each other quite well. You
Yeah,
know?
totally.
Who invited you?
My show.
He's right.
That's what I get to do.
And I didn't screw up a patron segment.
That was beautiful. You did that amazingly.
Yeah, I had to make up for the terrible job I did in space.
I can't wait to see it.
You get why I screwed it up now, right? Because I like practiced the science way.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't have a mic, so everyone will have to just kind of. No, I don't. But I figure we could do for those who don't know. At least recently, we've been doing post-show wrap-ups. So after dark and after everything gets shut down, we'll sit here and we'll talk about what worked, what didn't work, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we think we can do better, so forth and so on. So we already went into that conversation here. One of the things I'm thinking of doing for our escape velocity citizens is normally we stop the recording at this point, and like this is just totally off the air, off the record. I'm thinking for escape velocity, we'll actually continue to record and just post the post-show snippet of like all of the discussion. Sometimes, like the last couple of weeks, these discussions have gone on for like an hour.
They get heated.
They get well, no. I mean, there are like massive changes that we talk about to the show.
Yeah.
Like, that sometimes we apply and then unapply, or like tweak and untweak. So I'm thinking of doing that for escape velocity. Another thing I'm thinking of doing, just so everyone knows, I'm considering removing one of our citizenship tiers, removing ground support, and then just having everything slide down a tier. I think escape velocity will stay there, but everything slides down price-wise. So if you're escape velocity now, you become suborbital magically. If you're already suborbital, you become orbital. And then I think orbital will marry into, like, orbital becomes a larger group, and then escape velocity. I don't know that I'm actually going to do that, but something to make note of. I think we need to do a better job of introducing the guests and who they are and why we care.
Yes, that's a huge thing that
Yeah,
I did not do.
Yeah, we didn't do
I
it.
also didn't even write it anywhere in the rundown.
But
like,
that,
even
that's
where they
so
were
like
from, that
should have
was-
just known because that's like common sense. Like,
Yeah,
who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? Where are you from? Why do we care about you?
Why are you?
Yeah, why are you? Why are you?
I'll do. What's that freaking from? You know what I'm talking. What that's from, right?
No.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? Who is Gamora?
Yeah.
Where is Gamora? Who's Gamora?
Why
is
is
Gamora?
It's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooga chaka. Ooga.
You've not seen Guardians of the
No, I've
Galaxy?
seen that. I just wanted to look awkwardly.
Oh, Lord.
So that's my number one, my number one takeaway in notes, and I think the chat room.
Yeah, the chat room were like, what? Who are these people?
Who the hell are these
Yeah.
people, and why do
Yeah.
we care? Yeah, definitely like the who are you. I mean, we do. So there is a thing of like I want to start with the why, but I think we do need to start with a little bit of
An
set
intro.
a foundation of like this is why you want to listen to this person.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I think it was interesting because like the sort of introduction in the open was very close to like the start of the interview, so it was like hard to like yeah.
Yeah, we need to work that. The cold open needs a little bit of love, I think, because it's something. And then a little bit better job of, I think, tossing, like, I think having two guests is going to not be the norm. I think,
Yeah, no.
I think two hosts and one guest will be the norm. I did kind of like that interaction a little bit. That was nice. But I think two guests is not the norm. When we do have two guests, I think we definitely need to toss to a specific guest. And actually,
Yeah,
instead of
that was mentioned.
Well, it was mentioned, and then I think we started doing
Yeah,
it
we
after
started
we saw it
being
in the chat.
specifically referring to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would help a little bit. Otherwise, I thought the imagery was great. I actually liked having multiple guests on. I thought that was really good. So I say maybe we won't have multiple guests, but I don't know. I felt like that, like with a little bit of love and tweaking, I feel like that could work.
Well, their roles in this particular thing were so
Different.
disparate,
Yeah.
right? That it was good to have both of them on. 'cause
Yeah.
you got the different perspectives.
And that was
Yeah.
one of the questions I actually wanted to ask was, so the department they work on at Harvard, which I really wish I would have asked more about that, basically specializes in merging design and engineering and science. And that's how this became a thing. And so to have like the science and then the engineering and then bridging the two and then kind of having a beautiful umbrella of like design all around that.
But I feel
was-
like we didn't get to that.
I know we didn't.
Well, but so, and did we stop for time, or did we stop for, like, why did we stop?
I was just like, I don't know how long we've been going. Well, I was like,
Right.
okay, we've been going for like 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll wrap. Maybe I wrapped too early.
Yeah, I think we could have gone longer. Yeah, I think we could have gone quite a bit longer with that interview, assuming you weren't at a stalling point, right? So, assuming you had more questions and more things that were valid.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I
Do
think-
over.
I think for science, if we're going to do just an interview and just comments, I think we can go nearly an hour with the interview. I think we can go 45 plus minutes with
Wow,
the interview
yeah.
if the content dictates. If it's just like if it's like trying to rip information from someone and they're just not a good interview, then yeah, we obviously shorten it up. And then maybe we actually just say, that wasn't a good interview, and we try again the next week or something like that. But these guys were fascinating, and
Yeah.
I felt like we could have gone a lot longer with them and still kept a really great show going.
Oh, the chat room were like the most excited I've ever
They
seen
were
them
asking so
in
many good questions.
any science show ever.
Yeah, I think we could have. There were more questions in the chat room. I think we could have gone quite a bit longer. And it's okay. The show's fine, but I think we had a lot more show that we could have gone through. And
Okay.
still had to be a compelling show. Yeah.
Got
so
it.
I don't want to squeeze like space. We need to squeeze the interviews in a little bit because we've got news up front and so forth and so on. But these shows, let's really let the interview shine.
I feel like I wish that we had have talked beforehand about like tag teaming the questions because it worked really well to tag team, but like the fact that we like decided that as we were
In the
interviewing,
chat room, I was like,
oh man, we should have organized
because
this beforehand.
I was thinking like it would be so awkward if you're just sitting there kind of like, and then obviously coming in with but I think it flows a lot better to go back and forth.
I agree. I think
Keeping
that
it
worked really
active
well.
on both ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Law says multiple guests totally works. Support it. Yeah. So. I'll answer that in two ways. First, I tend to agree. Actually, I thought that was really great, and I would almost argue that maybe like having 3 or 4 guests and just considering science to be roundtables, but not with us. is kind of a good idea. However, I will say the amount of work it
Yeah,
takes
if
to
that
get
happens,
guests.
it's going to be like maybe 4 episodes a year.
Yeah. So you know what? Let me change that. So I don't know if people realize how much work goes into getting guests. It's a fantastic. I would say more work goes into getting guests than any other part of the show, and possibly all other parts of the show combined. So it's just a lot, and there's just schedules, and it's just a whole big thing. But we have this amazing community that's watching right now, and we have this amazing community forum. By the way, you can come back in if you want.
I like sitting.
Okay.
Behind.
It's fun to be right over there, isn't it? Right?
It was
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Now you know why I do. Yeah. That's my MO. My modus operandi. The community forum is a great place. If you have ideas for guests, or if you can help us schedule guests, maybe I'll put in like we have a Calendly link that allows you to kind of. We do want to still vet stuff ourselves a little bit, so maybe a little bit of work there. But if you have ideas, and specifically like more than ideas, like it's easy to have an idea. It's much harder to execute. So if you have an idea, I don't want to post someone else's contact information in the forum, but if like an idea, or you have an idea of how to get a hold of them, or can help us get guests, we would very much so appreciate that. That would help a great deal. By the way, that applies to all shows of tomorrow, not just science. Actually, Baxter heard me even earlier today. I was like, if you have ideas, we have a hole in the shows next week we're trying to fill. And for next week's show, I think it's around 7 active outreaches to try to fill. I know
think I have
you've got
5.
5. Just to give you an idea of how hard it is to fill these, right? And then we're working with hopefully
Somebody else, yeah.
someone. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have a-
For next week.
If we meet next week, she's available. So
Yeah.
I just emailed her and I was like, by the way, you should come on the show. And she works on dark matter. So
Oh.
Ooh.
dark matter.
Well, let's do
Is
that.
that relevant at all to
space?
I mean,
Yeah.
it is.
I
but
would
don't know
tend
if
to- I would
saw
tend to
your
fit
message
that-
about dark matter in the chat. I was like,
Yeah, I tend to put that more in science,
In
but
science.
yeah, I could put that in space.
I mean, if we need a guest, yeah. Otherwise, I don't mind holding.
I'm at a point where I think I will cancel shows before I'll go to a round table for space,
Yeah,
unless
I
it's a
agree.
scheduled actual round table. They're awkward and they don't fit. So
I think it's a space item.
yeah. I mean, especially if we're
It
short of guests.
actually is space.
Yeah.
It's more space than we're space.
So yes, if you can book
27.
that for next week, that would be great. Otherwise, keep going with all your stuff because.
I actually have 2
Um,
that I can try and send up.
Yeah, but are yours like time sensitive? Are they just here right now, or are they always
Happen to
here?
be here right now.
Yeah, so don't book it quite yet. Give me how long do you think you need? 48 hours?
I won't be able to see them until Monday at least.
So that's 72 hours?
Yeah, so
So if we can wait can she hold, can we soft book? And then and then definitely want to book no matter what. It's just a
Okay.
question of, is it going to be this next
Okay.
show, or is it like a couple shows from now?
Sounds good.
Cool, yeah, that's awesome.
Good.
Whew.
Yay.
All right.
You're seeing the guest bookings happen in real time, people.
There it
real
is.
time.
You're watching the magic be made.
How did you feel about it? I like the screen actually. I like
Yeah.
having the screen with the science. We need to canter it down or something to fix the reflections. But I like having the Tomorrow Science screen. I think I would keep the table out for comments. I think you can just stay there and just go straight into comments after that.
Okay.
I'm not sure we need to put. I asked Dutta to put the comments on the screen. I'm not actually sure we should. I think we might want to just I loved going to last week's show on the screen. That was cool. But then I think just going back to the logo, and then let's just let the comments go full screen. We don't need to put them up on the TV. You can't read them anyhow. So just logo size this show.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like some of us with eye blindness might be able
Eye
to
blindness?
the team. No,
Well,
I have contacts.
Actually, that's a good point. Did you ever turn in references? No, you know what? You know where the
I
screen.
didn't. No, I didn't.
You know
I
what would
read
be
it
cool?
from here.
So comments go full screen, but if there are images that go with the comments, those go on the TV.
Kind of like today with resolution.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that's how that would play out.
Oh, really? And then it's an art technique that you can use it for.
Roundtables aren't awkward. They're some of the best shows.
Mm,
They can be.
I don't feel like our science roundtables delved into enough depth. I want
I
to say
think
they weren't. And
although I was referencing the space show, understand the space show will still have roundtables, but they will be scheduled. It's the unscheduled roundtables that were awkward because we weren't prepared, and they were unscheduled because we were scrambling to get a guest or a guest didn't come through. So we need to do. I'm not saying no roundtables. I'm saying like we need a little bit of time to prepare and actually understand what we're talking about.
For roundtables.
Yeah.
Also, solo. Oh, wait, hang on. Solo Cipher the Vocal Sword. That is a name.
A vocal
I'm new to
sword.
Twitch. Watch the guy talking about the squid in an octagon, and that was great. So first off, hopefully, welcome to Tomorrow Science. We have 2 shows, Science and Space. This is a science show. So
And eventually
welcome.
Oceans.
And apparently, I saw that, and I was like, boom! Did everyone see it? Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Other comments from like what worked with you too? Like what did you like? What did you
I think
dislike?
we just need to do it more because I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
co-hosting the interview with you.
That was cool because that really did make it more conversational, like kind of like what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Did you like did you like sitting across from each other like that on the screen, or would you prefer to be next to each other?
No, not
think-
next to each other because we were
Yeah.
giving cues. Like when I said we're gonna wrap
That
up, I
was
saw you
perfect.
nod, and I was
Yeah.
like, cool, she got the message.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Great. Okay, yeah. I think visually, I think it looked nice. So.
Visually, exactly.
Yeah. So okay, cool.
Bringing them into.
Yeah. So I think we'll continue this general format. Loopy Dragon asks, tomorrow records every Saturday at 1800 Coordinated Universal Time.
Are we
That is
recording?
correct. We are recording. So
cool.
1800 Coordinated Universal Time, 2030 Universal Time for Science on the first Saturday of each month, with the exception of this one.
Can I just say here really quick, this has nothing to do with anything, but Raj Luther said, I love how, well, he brings up Bill Nye from the Planetary Society as another guest, but I love how he references Bill Nye from the Planetary Society versus Bill Nye from Bill Nye the Science Guy show.
Yeah, I love it.
And I love he says, yeah, he knows him from the Planetary Society. Like,
He's
what
Bill Nye the
show?
Planetary Guy.
There you go.
Isn't Light Sail 2 is going to launch sometime soon, so I feel like if we were to reach out, then media people might be like, well, you know what? Yeah, we're trying to drum up media for Light Sail 2. So there's an opportunity there from a media
Yeah.
So
perspective.
I did reach out to someone at Planetary Society. It's not Bill Nye. It's actually another friend of mine from Planetary Society, and I think we're going to get them on the show.
Nice.
Probably next month.
Cool.
Robert Picardo can come on too.
That'd be cool.
And then we could talk Stargate.
So a lot of these people have booking fees. I don't know if Robert
Yes.
Picardo does or if he would require one. And as soon as there's a booking fee, we're going to thumbs down that. So if you know him and have a contact and be like, these guys are cool.
Star Trek cruise.
You went on a Star
Sure.
Trek cruise? Oh my goodness.
Star Trek cruise in January.
That's
So
amazing.
all of that would be cool, and I think it would be pretty awesome to have. But yeah, actually, the person I'm going to bring on is actually pretty cool. I think you'll like him, but he's not like Bill Nye or Robert Picardo, but he knows his stuff and he's with the Planetary Society. So.
Ooh, Emily Lacada.
At the Planetary Society?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Put in a good word for us,
I
man.
will, yeah, because I'll be working.
They know us.
So I will definitely. I want to
they
talk to
know
you guys
us?
a little bit about that after
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let's do that when
yeah,
the
cool.
when the microphones aren't on.
I mean, I think she was trying to be subtle, but all right, why not, Ben? God damn you.
What?
That's so cool.
I don't know, Jade, what were your vibes on...
I loved
I
it.
like how we tag team the comments, too.
Yeah,
That-
I
that
think
was cool.
just having the synergy between multiple, like 2 hosts is really cool.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, again, it kind of goes back to that making it more conversational versus just like bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really liked it. And I liked that. I mean, I know we cut out an entire section, but just the length of the show in general, like, not at one point did I feel like I was starting to get kind of tired or
Yeah.
like this is dragging
I could keep my
on.
energy up.
Or like feeling like, oh my God, what if the audience doesn't even care because if it's been going on for so long. So yeah, it's the shorter time really makes it a lot more easy to stay engaged and easy to be like, pa, 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 pa.
I tend to
I
agree.
didn't miss news, as bad as that sounds.
I don't think I did either. I really did. I thought that show flowed very well, and I think we're going to hold to this format for a while. I think we'll tweak the format, but I'm much happier with where science was today than I think I have been in the past.
Yay.
I'm curious to know what the community thinks as well, but I think that something.
Definitely can tweak, definitely can practice more and make it better, but I think you're right. I enjoyed this one a lot more. The general vibes.
Yeah.
Cool
They're going into a
beans.
time thing, so I'm just going to ignore it because otherwise I'll go off onto a whole thing.
We don't want that.
Yeah. that was it from science. Any comments on space? Actually, I enjoyed we're going to leave the
so
intro fuck up in there that Dutta had, where he just, it's daylight saving time. There's no S,
it's not plural. Thank you.
No rant. No rant.
Oh, unless he did that just to get under my skin, which he may have done too.
Diabolical.
Yeah, so we'll leave the we'll leave that as is, and we're gonna leave the you were supposed, you didn't go to, we talked about it and then you didn't do it, and then everyone started yelling at me. So here's what happened: in space, we were supposed to have her do the Patreon slates, then we were gonna toss to the floor.
so
we were gonna do a thing, and then I was gonna be and I was gonna talk to Vax, and it was going to be a cool thing, and then we were going to go into break, kind of like almost a tease into the interview. But apparently we forgot to do the citizen slates. So then I got yelled at for not doing the citizen slates, and then I'm like, I'm not supposed to do the citizen slates.
We're just going to do some banter, and I thought you were going to throw back to me, and I could have fixed the patron slates thing. But then you went on for like 5 minutes.
Well, because we had stuff that was relevant to news,
But
and so
I didn't
thought
know
it might be,
that. You didn't communicate that.
No, I know. I didn't, because what I was expecting was you were going to do your bit, you were going to toss over to us, and then I thought, okay, well, we'll do our bit, and I'll do what I was originally planning to do. It'll just be a little bit longer than normal. I didn't know that we were going to do a whole big back forth thing. It ended up super awkward, so awkward.
Wait to see it.
And then to top off the awkward, I messed up the patron slates, and I was like, and escape velocity, something blah, and then orbital, because why not?
And as Dutta said, you're supposed to intuit an understanding of Ben. Now, Jade did that earlier, and I don't understand why you didn't do that, because Jade did do that.
I think there's a threshold of the amount of time spent with you. If you go above that threshold, then you get
Cannot
what's the word where you just
desensitized?
Desensitized. Yeah, I'm desensitized to you, Ben.
You and Carrie Ann. Nigel says, press the like button. It helps the channel. Actually, subscribe and press the bell. That helps the channel quite a bit.
And like as well.
And like, and all of the
and
things.
And share.
Yeah, all of it. If you like the channel,
thank you.
Subscriber, I kind of don't really care about subscriber count too much, because I just want a really great community of people, and if that's a community of 5 or a community of 20,000, as long as it's a great community, it's a great community, and I just don't want a community of people who are just there for the wrong reasons. Having said that, there's a certain power to a larger number, so that power helps us do other cool things. It shows that we actually know what we're doing, stuff and things, so subscribing to the channel does help a great deal. We'd appreciate that. Anything else? Anything we missed on space or science from a comment perspective? Athena, I'm going to pull you away. Anything that we missed on space or science from a show perspective that you liked, disliked?
I really like this.
Yeah?
I'm just trying to think dislikes, because everything.
But space is on the table as well, by the way, right? So not just this show.
It's on the table. It's right here.
I really liked how our conversation was going. Actually, I liked that a lot.
I felt like
that was, I think, that was great.
Oh, was it?
It was.
You didn't like it?
I felt like I was jumping in with questions all the time, like I was talking over you.
No, you weren't over it all. That's not how that felt to me at all.
Oh.
No.
Because I feel like you took the right moments, right when I was pausing or Mike was pausing, for you to come in with your question, which helped actually guide the conversation. Because I was like, that's the whole point too, being Capcom, and I love that because you were really helping me guide. Because there were certain things I had forgotten to mention, and I didn't want to look at my script or look at my bullet points, not script. And you came in with those because you had already pre-planned it. So I like that a lot. That was a huge help. I want to stick with that. That was definitely great. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I think everything was great. And I really like this with science. I think that makes it really fun because also we got rid of the news and this kind of is okay, we're diving in now. That's science too, as opposed to, I mean, space is a science, but anyway.
I really liked your news today. I thought that it was done really well. I was able to understand what you were talking about, which I thought was really great. I thought that was some of your best news that you've done. It was really, really done well. I liked it a lot. I really liked how that worked out with asking questions and you answering.
It was so good.
And you weren't there was no predefined order. You just kind of went with the flow. And there was a level of excitement, and I didn't feel like you were talking on top. I felt like you were it was like a conversation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, you don't.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, right. There's no pause in a conversation. People just talk, and that's how it felt to me. Community, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's That's what. Yeah, diamonds, which you're wearing in your hair. I swear to you,
It's not diamonds, but it's
diamonds.
Diamonds.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh my God! So I swear to you, we're sitting. We're here. We're at the table. We're doing comments, and for the first time, because Lisa's Capcom, so most of my time, and Athena's to my right, so most of my time I'm looking at Lisa. And then I'm kind of paying attention to the show. Then for the Athena talks, and I look over for the first time, and just like glitter, like just in the hair. It was no. It literally.
Like, amazing.
It caused me
Oh
to
my God,
stop.
those are Gucci.
Let me see if I can get it on camera. Hi guys.
Let's see how flexible. Put it up.
I'm gonna fall.
You're gonna blind the audience. Those are
Super
brilliant.
sparkly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had to wear them today. Sparkles. But yeah, I don't have any actually like criticisms or negatives about how I felt about the show. Even watching Science, I thought everything was super good. And I tried to actually, I got the login for Twitter, so I was like trying to just pound out tweets and stuff like
Yeah,
that
I shared
during
the
show.
Dashlane thing with her before
I actually only
during
did
the
Oh,
show.
I'll give you a Zoho social account, so you can actually get in there. You can schedule tweets. You can see the whole thing. We can actually we can collaborate and coordinate on all social, which will also give you access to the Facebook page as well.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how pre-show. If you're like, wait a minute, isn't Ben on camera? How is he tweeting? That's how I'm tweeting. It's all scheduled. Yeah, it's blonde.
Great.
From a media and directing perspective, Dada, is there
yeah.
anything we can do to make that easier? I know Science was
I don't
like
have
new.
ears, so someone
I've
hold
got
up. You
ears.
can.
No, everything was right where it was supposed to be, and I didn't have any difficulty reading or using media. It
Nice.
was all good.
I
Cool.
saw you like just going randomly to during the interview to like the different photos and stuff, which was great.
Yeah, I had lots to choose from. I went through and selected a couple that seemed appropriate to what they were talking about, and
Yeah, I think that worked really well. The video that was called Squid, I tried to cue you by being like, there's a video, like it's something about a squid, and then I like said squid like 4 times because I was like, where's that video?
No, that was perfect because there was 3 videos, and you're like, I think we have a video, and I was ready to click on the first one, which wasn't the one you were talking about, and then you said squid. I'm like, oh, yep, squid. There's one. It's got a name. It's called Squid. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Awesome.
Ready, go.
I think that's probably, I don't know, maybe, is that a good strategy that everyone should probably use? That like have this like keyword. So if you we have a video, and then like if it's about a squid, name it squid. If it's about a starfish, name it starfish.
Starfish love you.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You took my thing.
It really,
I felt that very new.
particularly for news, it really helps me. I mean, what you started. I think Lisa started putting everybody's individual news stories in their own folder, and that was.
No, I think it was Athena, but yeah.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah, it was Athena. I'm sorry. So that was a good way to kind of categorize or separate everybody's files so that I understand where they are, but then we had everybody's news story name in the file name, and all I would see is news story. So news story, and it didn't matter which one it was. When we were scripting, it was fine because I would just select the next one and go with it. But now that we're not scripting, if you're going to be bouncing around, and you typically will be because you're not scripting, it's easier for me if you have a short, concise file name that relates to what the media is talking about. If it's a artist concept or whatever, you put in artist concept. Or if you're talking like just a couple of keywords that will help me identify what it is that you want to be showing on screen, and then you don't even have to say, oh, I've got this image of blah blah blah. If you say those words, I'm going to be going boop. There you go. There's your image. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, and did people do that this week or not as much? Medium.
Medium. The science topic media was well done ish. There wasn't a whole lot of media in news. Mike had one video and an image, I think, and it was easy to. I mean, he outlined like we suggested, play video here, play image here, and that's fine. And it worked, and I was able to get through it. I hope to his satisfaction. I didn't have any issues with Athena's stuff because she had one image of actual like photographs that was right up front, and it was kind of put in the rundown about where she wanted to be talking about it, and I think I did a decent job. And you mentioned that when you talk with your hands, you want to be able to see yourself talking with your hands. So I came back to you as much as I could. It's just a matter of kind of learning everybody's preferences and their ideal in order to be able to keep them working at their best.
Cool.
Good to know.
You look like you're about to speak, but I'm not
Well,
sure.
I'm waiting for him to make sure he's done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
Okay,
I was like,
sorry. 'Cause, yeah.
you hearing voices?
Click.
I am hearing voices. We should hosts in Discord Friday night and remind them of media naming for the next few weeks until everyone's in that habit. Because I think I think that's exactly what it's going to be, is a bit of a habitual change of how we name our media, and just to make sure that, hey, here's a quick reminder, get your media named correctly. And we should do that before the show, else we get into the show, someone changes the name of a file, and it breaks in Casper.
Yeah. I really want to test out the wipe off board thing though.
Okay.
Can I ask about that?
Yeah, let's try it.
Do it over there.
Yeah, you want to do it in the room? Yeah, let's do it right now, and we'll see if we can make it work.
Right now or right now?
Right now!
You're welcome, Internet. I know you wanted to hear that.
If I were to be like, so.
Go to 4.
I mean, this is literally from the dollar store. Okay, so if I do like that, okay, so star forms here, it's rapidly rotating, and
Are
it
you
starts to
recording this?
attract all nearby dust and gas, and this is how an accretion disk will then form. And sometimes there's, is it? Okay,
No, that's pretty good.
Kind of crappy.
No,
I mean, this thing literally is from the dollar store.
No, but
so-
okay, but conceptually, if we
Yeah.
do something like that, maybe I get you bigger boards that we just kind of have on the table so that we have something that you can reference
Yeah.
that are just always here.
What I have
A
in
wheelie
mind-
thing.
A cart
There's-
that's the size of Mike, and then you just kind of go. Whoop.
Yeah, we just have it like sitting here. I mean, that might be a bit big.
I feel like if this ends up working well, where people might actually visually like this because it translates for them, something I'm looking to buy for myself is something I saw during a presentation recently at like a business conference that has like a video camera attached to it. It's like a little projector, but you can. It's like in school when you like would write
Yeah, yeah.
out something. It's like that, except that has a camera on top, which I was looking to get anyway. But regardless, I think that if this does well for people and
I
they
think
actually
it's
can
cool.
understand it, and
It's a cool visual
and
tool.
it tends to become kind of a thing maybe. Then yeah,
Just
we
depends
can
if we
always
ma- like,
do
it
more
looks-
wipe-off boards.
Yeah.
Has
But
to look-
I
I feel like this
Yeah,
is.
go and
has to be
buy
like-
No, no,
wipe-off boards and
yeah,
get
but-
them
discernible.
Yeah, but these are
exactly.
low tech, low cost,
Yeah.
but they could be high value.
Yeah.
And
Is that
it,
just a whiteboard?
it doesn't make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
It
think that
makes
is
it
actually
still
really-
like
it's
human
just
in
a
the
whiteboard.
moment.
As long as the camera can pick
I
it
feel
up,
like the
though.
board is just a little too small.
I mean, it is.
You don't want it too big though, Ben, because she
No, I
needs to
got
be
it.
able to
Maybe
hold it and also gesture
one
at the
that I-
same time.
We should have just a TMRO whiteboard that we can just plop on the table. It'll be like what.
She got that at like the dollar store.
That's
Yeah,
so
Jared said
cool.
he can draw things for his stories too. I feel like having these are low cost. I can get like 2 or 3 of them, so
Yeah.
you just have them.
You mentioned.
That'll be so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
I
what
don't
they
think
do
that
on.
applies here.
It's like what they do on Because Science.
Version of that where if they've got an iPad or something, put drawing on, you can use that as a media.
Can you cast an iPad with an Apple Pen?
I was actually.
Why can't I
about
just
to
talk?
get that.
Loopy. What am I typing? Loopy, yeah, a folder with images is great. I still have to download them, put the image credits on them, and then put them into our show media system.
Oh my gosh.
But, I mean, that's what I do for other news stories too, right? So,
Athena's on your
It's-
box.
yeah.
So I don't know how to cast like. So if I go into notes.
Yes, okay, it sounded dirty, but I was being literal.
Gosh darn it.
What? No, I mean, I'm just sad that I'm so short.
Neither of us thought of it that way.
I'm
It was
so
done.
hungry.
Because like I can.
Oh, what does that say?
Nope. Definitely. can't.
Tomorrow. It says tomorrow.
Oh,
I can see
I
it.
should probably realize that it said that. I think she needs a thicker texter. Yeah. Texter?
Texter?
Sorry.
Is that what they
That's
call
an Australian
pens?
thing.
Yeah,
No.
that's actually my dad's height.
Oh no. So a Sharpie is like called a Texter in Australia. It's the
love
brand.
it.
We also have Sharpies, but Texter was like the OG Australian brand before Sharpies got imported.
Texter.
You can't use Sharpies on dry erase boards.
Yeah, but
Sharpie
like
is
the
more friendly.
the whiteboard version, like a whiteboard Texter.
That'll be a great tomorrow
marker?
prank. Yeah. Have them use a permanent marker instead of a dry erase. Chaos ensues on this episode of Tomorrow Who Done It.
We have
There's
several
a code up
shows.
top. What's that code?
secret lovers.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Wait, this is about to get real right now.
Look
This is so
at
cool.
that. I have been chosen.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this would be so cool. So you have a, okay. So
Oh yeah, learn to draw backwards.
You can. I have a pencil, but I don't have it with me. So you could draw with a pencil.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Yeah, we just need a different app that would actually like extend correctly. But this feels about. Hang on one second. Sorry.
That would be so cool because we could just cut to it, like put it
Yeah.
as another input. Oh my goodness, yes, let's do it.
Oh my golly. I like it. I'm for it.
Raj, if we brought on Kyle Hill from Because Science, would it just be Kyle Hill talking about his show Because Science? Or like, would he have something else other than self-promotion to talk
Well,
about?
I mean, it depends. I mean,
Right.
we could do the. I know you guys have already done the topic of like, or like a
Right.
general science communication, like
Got to figure out why.
because
it's
he
not,
focuses
because it's a
on
4x3
doing the
iPad,
science
that's
of
why.
like comic books and superheroes,
I
and
would just need to
yeah,
do the
so that's how I like fell absolutely in love with that show
Yeah, we need a
because
different app.
like
one
they
that's
have some
not
really
that,
good episodes.
but
Like
yeah,
the
we could
like one of my
probably use,
favorites is
Photoshop
like
or
the
some sort of
science of
drawing
lightsabers.
app.
Can you actually build one?
Okay, so
Answers all sorts of cool like hypothetical questions like
Yeah.
can the Death Star
Zoom actually allows
sustain
for,
like artificial gravity?
screen
Really
sharing,
cool
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
And then he has these neat
So
little
then
drawings
what
that
we
he
can
does.
do is we can use the guest channel.
So I guess it could,
Well,
but he has an engineering background
or I
too.
just get a couple
Oh.
apples of these.
And he's
they're
really,
low cost.
really cool. Like I actually reached out to him years ago when I was barely getting on this path
Yeah,
of like
I just gotta
science
get
and
converted
communications.
something
And I was
like
like, oh,
4K
he's not
Apple
gonna
TV.
reply to me, but he ended up replying to my email. Oh, what? Because I asked him, I'm like, how did you get to where you are? And he used to
All right,
write
so this
for
is,
a lot of science publications, like actual like articles and whatnot. Yeah. So he has a really
So
cool
this is a
background.
thing you would
can-
like. So if I just had an
And he's
iPad.
super animated and fun. Have you seen any of his
Okay.
episodes?
So we
I
already
watch
have this
Musquatch all the
iPad. Like
time.
this, we already have the tools, so we'll make this available to you next time.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
this is
love
so
it.
cool.
I'll get you a pencil, and I need to find a different app.
but I
because
actually
don't
haven't
have
watched
that
an
crap
episode
on
of
my
Because
laptop.
Science, so I'm a terrible human being.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
You would
I-
love
I
it.
I could expand it.
It's
Oh yeah,
so
there you go.
good. I don't know, chat room.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you have
like
one here?
Because Science? Of course. Wow, look at that!
Oh no,
it's like
no, no, I need the Apple
1984.
pencil specifically.
Well, now
Yeah,
it's
This is wait.
now it's 2037.
I wanted to work if I touch it.
Oh, that would.
Oh, can we do that? Can we?
Is this a touch?
Can we make this? No, it's. I don't think it is. But can you can get overlays that make it right? So then we could like be like, oh yeah, and then this is the science thing, and draw it. Like that'd be so cool. I want that.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wait, we can do so much with this.
All right.
And then like stars can form, and then when that star forms, oh my god.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm done.
for those watching live, this is why we do these things, and this is how we come up with some of our best and worst ideas.
Simultaneously.
Oh yes, yes, yes. This is this is also how we came up with Launch Minute. It's all good. We'll figure it out. The plan, I think. Anyone else have comments for the show wrap up here? Anything else that we wanted to talk about or that I missed? Anything from you?
I don't think so.
I'm trying.
Athena, any final comments?
Diener? Did you just?
It ends in an A, and so the Australian way to say that would be Athena.
It almost sounds like a southern
Her
way.
name is Athena.
Athena.
You're saying it that way.
You're forcing it.
Actually, I think
No.
we should have potentially both the iPad and the whiteboards because there is something a little bit different about
Space
each.
Mike is still watching. Just.
Oh, Space Mike.
Space Mike?
Yeah. So does Space Mike have comments too? Space Mike, did you want to dial back into Hall? Oh, he can't.
Oh, we have to dial to him.
Yeah. Hey, again, I might be able to. Oh, that's cool. That's actually kind of
we can
awesome.
see everything.
I got it. You guys can see what my chat room looks like.
We just got an interview from the guest that says, "Hi Lisa, I have to go, but thanks for the opportunity, and please keep us posted about Tomorrow Oceans."
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we'll need their help.
Glad you volunteered yourselves.
I could see
I
them
think
hosting
we should have a
that.
whole like show just not speaking and just drawing things.
Tomorrow miming.
Tomorrow miming.
So there you go. So now
Tomorrow
you guys
sure.
can see what my chat interface looks like. Yep. So
Awesome.
Tars is not happy, so I'll cue Tars not being happy.
Should we cover this up?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Gosh darn it.
Whatever.
Well, everyone's gonna see that now. They can just scrub back.
He's losing his rocker.
Well, we're gonna have to do a port change now. Sorry, Colton. But what about what's his name? Space Mike. Did he have any comments? Things that I will say for Space Mike's segment, the launch minute. I really liked the launch wrap up, and I liked having the tie back to what we were doing and giving it an extra hit. TMRO coloring. I liked how we tied it back, and there was a little bit before show of like, do we put Eugene in the launch minute or not? I didn't feel like it belonged in the launch minute. That belongs to the launch itself. But it's still important, and we still need to talk about it. So it's okay to have those important things not in launch minute and separated and brought into launch wrap up, because it's a cool moment that's not exactly relevant. It deserved more than a minute, is I guess what I'm saying, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mike says, guys, the science episodes are called experiments. We need to do science experiments, period.
But I just corrected him because they're called discoveries. We changed it in show 2.
Burn.
He wasn't talking in the chat room, he was talking in Discord, so that's why.
Did Mike have
I
anything?
do want just experiments in science. I just don't know how to execute on it in
Yeah.
a way that makes sense.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
like
know.
doing experiments?
Actually,
Yeah.
That might be a crossover thing where I found a science mom, I think it is, she's a Patreon creator. She's smaller than us, but I mean, what a great way for us to like something. And she already does experiments and whatnot on her channel. So maybe we just maybe instead of rolling the commercial break, we get Science Mom to do a 60-second experiment for us. And we just promote her channel, and she gets to do a science thing on our show, and we get a science experiment thingy. I kind of half reached out saying, hey, I'd like to do a collab, but haven't heard anything back. Maybe that's how we bring experiments in. They don't necessarily have to be us live here on station.
That would be cool.
Yeah, or if Griffith would let us record something there. Yeah, I know.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Or my buddy who's actually from Griffith too, Nick Freyer, he has this company called Professor Egghead.
Okay.
And they have traveling demonstrations where it's for like kids parties and whatnot, but like they have some really cool like, and Nick is also he's just an awesome like science communicator.
Can he come and do them? Is he local?
Heck yeah. He lives in WeHo. He lives near you.
Can he come in and do them? Because like,
Oh my God.
we could totally. Because I want to see what he does, and then I could like show him the science focused stuff
He's
and how we do it.
one of
in
my
Australia.
best friends. He's amazing and
I don't have any
hilarious.
gear.
Would
My
he
trouble
enjoy it?
is,
Would
my
this be
trouble
something
is,
he'd be up to?
Oh heck yeah! Oh my gosh,
I don't have any gear. It's all in
I
Australia.
get like so much of my science communication inspiration from him. I hope he doesn't listen to this because all we do is talk crap to each other when we're hanging out. So I really hope he doesn't hear this. Hate you! But no, he would be super down. He would love to, and he has everything's portable, like because it's meant to be taken to kids' parties.
Yeah, let's get that in process, because I think I don't know that we need to do those live. I do actually think those would be a better use of our break time in between the interview and the comments. I think that would be really awesome. But we could also bring him on and actually just talk to him live about like what he does.
Yeah,
like,
that would be cool.
Like so, I think all of the above, right? So
Science for kids.
That would be a good way to introduce him to the community, and then have the ongoing.
yeah, I think that's a great idea if he's willing. And he because it's, you know, it's a portable little thing, right? I only need one of those experiments per show, so if he can crank out like 10 of them just in one
And then just
sitting,
use 'em.
and then that gives us 10 shows.
It's nearly a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay, I think
be
we're.
super
Did Space Mike have
down.
comments from his part of it?
I
I mean, I
don't-
can reach
I
out to
don't
him
see
separately. I
him.
definitely want to get his feedback though.
I don't think he's back in. I don't think he's here anymore.
Okay, that's all right. I will.
It was like 15 minutes ago where he wrote the thing in Discord. So
Oh, okay. I'll reach out to Space Mike in Discord. I want to make sure that we get his data and his feedback. But yeah, okay, cool.
Smash.
On that note, I think we're done.
I am hungry.
I am so hungry.
Yeah, I have to go visit friends from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Don't you know?
Don't you know you betcha?
Oh my goodness.
That was great. That was so cute.
Holy buckets! Ah, jeez.
This sounds so weird.
I'm so
One of these
uncomfortable.
voices.
On that note,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
bye,
almost like I grew up there. Don't you know?
Bye. Bye.
get a soda from Minnesota.
Minnesota.